Alrighty, welcome to another edition of Achievement College. This is Aussie Gamer 17 and this is my step-by-step guide to getting you that gamer score. As you can already tell, today we are playing Hello Neighbor. This is going to be a full game walkthrough showing how to pass the complete game whilst also getting every single achievement. So stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how we do it. Okay, and just a couple of other things worth mentioning before we get started. Playtime or completion time for this game. You can see here that this video is going to go for just under 2 hours. There is a section in the game where I had to stop the game and just sit the controller there and wait for a tree to grow. That's going to make a lot more sense later, but that's for a particular achievement where I had to leave the game idle for me it was approximately an hour, maybe a little bit longer than an hour, and we'll probably have to do the same thing at some point. I guess technically you could go off and do a few other things while you're waiting for that tree to grow, but this is the way that I'm going to show you this game is the quickest way that I could find to beat the game. Other thing worth mentioning is that there are a lot of guides and video guides out there for this game, and I found they are all the ones that I can find and see are outdated. The developers have patched the game several times and made quite a few changes, and that has actually changed both the way that you actually pass the game and also the way that you can obtain certain achievements in terms of them placing more obstacles in your way. So hopefully this will be the most up-to-date guide you can find out there. Other thing to mention is that there are no achievements to worry about in Acts 1 and 2. This game does consist of 4 acts, being Act 1, 2 and Act 3, and then a finale at the end of that as well, which I guess you could call Act 4. There are no achievements to worry about in Acts 1 and 2, so get through to Act 3 any way you wish, but I am going to cover both those acts here in this video. Alright, that should be enough. Let's get the game started. Alrighty, so here we are at the start of Act 1, and you do actually gain control of your character after this short little scene, although it's going to be a little bit temporary. Alright, so that's our character there, and now we're in control, and all you need to do is move forward towards the ball, and once we get close to the ball, another cutscene will take over. Now, I'm not going to show all the cutscenes in the game. I have cut those out as well, so that may affect your eventual playtime. Here we are after the cutscene. We're back in control. Now going over into this house. This is actually our character's house, I do believe, although it is hard to tell. And what I want to do is we're going to go in here and grab a few things to prepare for what we need to get to the end of Act 1. Now remembering there are no achievements to consider. Go into this cupboard or closet and grab 3 boxes, and then over here just grab something that we can use to break a window. In this case I've grabbed the television. Now you head over to, this is the neighbor's house, and this is the game is going to revolve around this house, breaking into the house, breaking out of the house, that sort of thing. Use this bookshelf or whatever it might be, climb to the top, and we're going to place 2 boxes, one on top of the other. And you will learn that the method to do this is to jump and then immediately tap the right trigger to put the second box on top of the first box. Now we're going to run and jump around the roof here, and this is the window that we brought the TV for. So smash through the window. You could use your cardboard box as well and pick it back up. I just like to be prepared. Now what you want to do is take this picture frame off the wall, and you can see there is a hole behind there. You'll also notice as I jump through this hole that I do a heap of cuts because at random times the neighbor will find you. I almost picked up the wrong key. We want that key there. I don't know how it dropped there, but make sure you grab this key. This is a car key, so that's why we came in through this hole. Now you can use this yellow key here to open this door right next to us. You don't actually need to. You can see I'm doing it here just to make things easier in case we want to come back through here, but we could always go through the hole. Now of course we don't need the key anymore, so you can throw that away, and I just like to remain stocked up on cardboard boxes. They are the most useful item in the game. Now what I was trying to say is you will see a number of cuts. Whenever the neighbor does catch you, you will find yourself being teleported back to your starting location with all the same things that you already had in your possession. So there will be a few different cuts here and there, but as long as you just follow along with what I do in the order that I do it, you shouldn't get too lost. So we move to the neighbor's car, we open his boot using the key, we don't need the key anymore, and we grab the magnet out of the boot. Now you can see there the neighbor, and when you hear this music, it means that he has spotted me and he's chasing after me. So I'm just trying to avoid him here. If you're having trouble, you can run it back across. As soon as you cross the road back towards your place, he won't follow you across the road. There he goes. He's always throwing things at us. That is glue that he throws at you. Whenever you see that white puddle, if you step in it, it will slow you down and allow him to catch up to you and potentially catch you. But like I said, he's not going to come across here. Just waiting for him to move away. And we need to make our way around the back of the house, which is a little bit frustrating because that's exactly where he just went. But there he is now back in the front. I'm going to try and work my way around to the back without him noticing. Hopefully you can see him there. And now he's going back into his front door. But you will learn your way around the house basically. Now what we want to do is stack these boxes in front of this little window here. And once again, I'm going to try the trick to put the boxes on top of each other because we want to be able to see through this window here. And I could have even moved it slightly over to our right, would have been good, and I would have had a better view here. But you can see there, that's the crowbar. I wasn't actually trying to get the crowbar. There is just under where we got the crowbar is this. It's a little lockpick, and holding LB is the way to make sure you get it. You must hold LB. Don't tap it, otherwise you may move the lockpick to a place where you can't get it anymore. So make sure you don't stuff that one up. Might even be smarter to do a save beforehand, otherwise you can just start the whole chapter again. Alright, now we're going to climb in this window that's usually already accessible, and this is where we're going to use the lockpick that we just grabbed to unlock this lock here and make our way into this room. And the whole reason we did that is so that we can get this spanner here, or some people might call it a wrench, I call it a spanner. Once we've got the spanner, don't worry too much if he catches us. I think he's going to catch me. Yep. So this is, I'll just show you what happens. It just starts us back over on our side of the street, but we've still got the spanner in hand, so we haven't lost any progress. Okay, so with spanner in hand, head back around to the back of the house, and we're going to gain access to this ladder by using the spanner. So you just unlock the gate blocking the ladder, and up the ladder we go. Across this plank and into the building and drop down, and here we're going to find, we don't need the spanner anymore, so I'll throw that away, and we can pick up the red key. And the red key is all we need in order to, I guess, escape or break into the basement where we believe someone might be being held captive. I think that's the main point of the story. Now just open that door just in case we want to come back through there. More out of habit than anything else. We don't actually need to. We can just break out the window, jump down, and we're going to head in the front door if we're not getting chased too much. Take a right. I went the wrong way for a second here. Into here, towards the basement, use the red key, open the door, and there we go. That's the end of the first part of Act 1. Once you get control again, head down the stairs and open up the washing machine looking thing and go straight through it and open the door here. Now we have to escape the basement. There's no one down here. We have to try and find our way back out. Now sometimes that cam will open the door. I don't think smash through that window or move. What it is, it's a bit of a painting that's blocking the window. But just throw stuff at it until it moves out of the way. Now I have found that sometimes I needed to flick this switch and sometimes I didn't. Either way, what you want to do, you'll see here that it was in the up position, and therefore I can open that gate. All you need to do is make sure it's in the up position so that you can open that gate and get through. I remember that mannequin scared the living you-know-what's out of me the first time I saw it. Make your way down this corridor and you can see the light at the end. That is just a torch. You can pick that up and use it to help you see. It is a bit dark sometimes in this area. Flick that switch to open this gate. Now we're going to have to work our way towards a generator. That's the generator just here. We need to turn that on so that it powers this door here, and that's how we're going to get out of this area and finish Act 1 actually. So very, very quick act. Move the chair, get through this door. I forgot to take something with me, but you'll see that in a second. I'll come back for it. Okay. And I'm just, once again, figuring out exactly where I want to get over to the generator. And you can see the generator's over there, and we need to get over this gate, but we can't with that electrical thing going off. Now, if you go back and flick that switch from the start of this area, you can actually open that gate and make your way through, but you do have to race back. Instead, pick up one of these big paintings, place it in this sort of situation near this electrical short circuit, and then I pick up one of these foam brick things, throw it at the picture so that we make a bit of a ramp and we can just get over the gate just like that. And now we can turn the generator on, which is going to power that gate for us so that we can get to the exit. And you just climb this this debris here in order to get back over the way we came, and then we can get back around to the exit. There we go. Pretty simple, guys. It can be a little bit tricky getting that ramp, that picture frame to make a ramp, so that's probably the trickiest part in this entire act, really. Alright, as soon as you get control, run forward all the way to the end, and when you make it to a door full of locks, that's as far as you're going to make it, and that will be the end of Act 1. So just await your fate once you get here. Alright, now starting Act 2. Find ourselves in fairly familiar surroundings compared to the last act. And our goal now is to break out of the house and out of his yard, basically. Now, what you want to do is you can look through this keyhole. The door's currently locked, but as soon as that cardboard cutout figure shows up, he unlocks the door somehow. Make your way out, swing around to your left, remove this vent cover, and head inside the vent. All the way to the end of the vent, drop out, turn to your right. It's a bit hard to see, but there should be a ladder, just like that. And head to the top of the ladder, and we've already finished the first section of Act 2. Now, every time you get caught from here on out, this is where you're going to respawn, climbing back out of the basement. Now, what we want to do, that there is a like some water pipes. We need to flick this switch here. We need to burst the pipes, basically. So we're going to pump up the pressure, and there's 3 switches we need to turn on. That was the first one, and now I'm just avoiding the grumpy old man, is what I've been calling him. And you'll notice cuts like that. What we're doing now is heading inside to get to switch number 2, or lever number 2. There it is there. And he caught me again there, so I turned it off. While we're inside, we're going to grab another spanner out of the freezer in the old man's kitchen. And now we can get back outside. So we've done 2 out of the 3 switches now. Plenty of little things. There are numerous ways, I believe, to actually break out of here, but I'm going for the trampoline method, it's called, which has also changed since the developers have patched the game, so things are a little bit harder. Anyway, we've opened the back ladder, the same place as it was in Act 1, and we've gone up the ladder and hop on this pipe to get to lever number 3. Now we'll hear the water pouring out, and we need to go and get the what I would call a valve handle that breaks off the pipe that I showed you right near the start. While we're in the area though, we're going to grab 3 boxes. You'll learn that that's exactly what I like to have. Oh, we're only grabbing 2 this time, sorry. You probably could have done with grabbing 3, but then I wouldn't have been able to pick up the valve handle. You could also get rid of the spanner. I don't think we need that again. But for now, we've got the 2 boxes and the valve handle, and now I'm just trying to avoid the grumpy old man again. Okay, now with your 2 boxes, you need to place them strategically next to this sort of post. As you can see there, I got caught in the end and had to come back. Doesn't matter what time of day or anything it is for this part, but more on that a little bit later in the game where it does matter a little bit. Because each time you get caught, it does change the time of day, which doesn't matter in Act 2, but will come into play a little bit more in Act 3. So use the boxes to climb up on top of the railing here. We're going to work our way over to a tap over here, and what we're going to do is place the valve handle on the tap, turn the tap on, and all the water is going to drain out of an area located upstairs that we need to get through, but we can't get through it until the water is gone. Make sure, don't do what I did and forget. I've had to cut this back in. Make sure you take the valve handle with you before you leave. And now we can go inside this door and up this ladder and up the stairs, or the makeshift ramps. Make your way all the way to the top. And this is where the water has just been drained from. So if you had to come up here earlier, this would all be filled with water, and that mechanical shark would be moving around, and you would meet your fate pretty easily if you tried to hop in the water. Past the shark, through the door, and then through the hole in the ground. And we find ourselves in a little secret room. Whenever you see chairs like that blocking doors, always move the chairs. It makes it possible to get through other ways if you need to come back without having to go the long way around. Here I am trying to remember what was next. But make your way down the stairs, and here you find this is basically a machine that opens the gate to the trampoline. Now, I did try it there, but we're not ready to do that. So you don't need to turn that lever like I did, because that won't have any effect yet until we get the machine running properly. I just came through this way so that we could have all the doors open, and now even though we got caught, we have access through the front of the house now to the lever that will eventually open the gate. This time move to the front of the house, and we have to turn on 3 or 4, we'll find out in a second. Just follow what I'm doing. We've got to turn on this valve here. So that's valve number 1. I'll show you which valves we need to turn on. So don't forget the one at the top of the ladder at the front of the house, head to the ladder at the back of the house, and now we need to drop down onto these pipes down here again and find the second valve. You can miss this fall. Obviously, you just have to keep trying until you get it. And across to here so that we can get to the second valve. Make sure, once again, take the valve handle with us. Oh, he nearly got me there. Now, the third valve was next to that machine, but don't worry, if you do get caught, when you're up to a certain part of the game, once you get caught, you have to go through this little tiny scene in order to get back to where we were. All you do is make your way into this sort of roller coaster cart or whatever it is, and then a little cutscene will play out, and you'll end up back at the top of the ladder right here. So if you do come across that section, that's all you have to do. I think it just signifies that you've made progress through the game, and once you get caught after a certain point. So, okay, here we are with valve number 3. It's actually through this window. Instead of doing the one on the machine next, we need to do this one. There we go. Turn it on, and you'll see I quickly flick this switch here. Flick that switch. I did manage to grab it just before he got me, so we're not going to need to go back in there, but make sure you turn that valve and turn the switch on, and make sure you've got the valve handle with you. He always catches me when I go in that part, so I'm not sure if that'll be the same for everybody. Anyway, in the front door, because we've got access here now, put the valve handle on here and turn this one on as well. And you don't need to grab the valve handle back, even though I did off camera there. Flick this switch, and now the gate to the trampoline shall have been opened. I'll show you in a minute, hopefully. But yeah, this is me just trying to avoid him again. There we go. See, that's the gate, and the trampoline is behind there. If you hadn't noticed earlier, that gate, it was not possible to access the trampoline. Earlier in the game, before it was patched, you didn't have to do any of this. You could have just grabbed all these boxes, climbed up the ladder, set the boxes up, and jumped over the gate into the trampoline. But they blocked that up, as far as I know, or have made it impossible. As I attempted it for at least an hour. I was attempting to try it because I'd read guides about a method to skip all of this, but I do believe they've actually changed it. and made it impossible to make the required jump. All right, once you're in the clear, I'm just going back up this ladder to get another box. I do want 4 cardboard boxes. So make sure you've got 4 boxes wherever you might find them. If you do need to use the ones we had earlier, then do that. There are other boxes inside in other rooms as well, if you can't find any outside. And all we need to do here is at the top of the ladder, right on this corner, we need to set up the 4 boxes. You're also going to need to set them in a way that you can climb to the top of them, or do it this way where you do the trick where you jump and place the box underneath you as you jump. So now we're on top of all 4. I failed, I died the first attempt at this jump, but just run and jump using left trigger. Left trigger makes you go a little bit faster, onto the trampoline and then over the fence after the bounce on the trampoline. That ends Act 2, and here we are at the start of Act 3. At the start of Act 3, you can look around the building that you find yourself in, but all you really have to do is sit here and wait for a letter to come through the mail slot in your door. And once the letter comes through, you pick it up to read it, and that will trigger another cutscene, and we'll move on to the next section. In hindsight, I probably should have just showed you guys around the room or something to make this part of the video a little bit more interesting, but this is all you have to do. It only takes another few seconds, hopefully. It's not long that we have to wait. At this point, I think I started to think, do I have to do something to trigger the letter? And as soon as I move, I think it decides to come through. So there's a knock at the door, or is it footsteps or something? There we go, and there's the letter. So once you pick it up, it'll start a little cutscene. We'll skip that. And once we're in control again, here we are in the present day, I presume. All you need to do is open the trunk of your car, or the boot as I call it in Australia. Pick up the key that's in the boot. Approach this door here, unlock the door, and head inside for another cutscene. And you'll immediately get control again and take a couple of steps forward for another cutscene. And we're going to skip that. And here we find ourselves back in our house, and across the road is the same neighbour's house, but it's had a few renovations and things like that. And once again, here we are in Act 3. So this is where we're going to start working on achievements. First thing I want to do is head out the back. We won't get any achievements straight away. We're going to just prepare a few things in order to sort of bank up some achievements. Get as many cardboard boxes as we can carry. Obviously, the maximum is 4. We're going to stack them over here near this window. And once we climb up them, we can then reach a switch or a lever inside the window, this red little knob here. Make sure you move that, and it opens a door inside. And that's to gain access to a ladder that'll take us up a floor or 2 inside the house. This is a big, massive house now. It's a bit of a maze. There's so many things that you can do, so many different ways that we can pass things in this game now. So I'm just going to take you through a method that has worked for me. Decided to get rid of one of the cardboard boxes to pick up something that I like to carry around just to use to throw at things or break windows, or even throw at the grumpy old man if he finds us. Although this time I decided to just run away from him. So yeah, we're going to go through a series of things. We're going to collect certain things, bring them back to our house and leave them at our house so that we can then use them for different achievements a little bit later on. So a lot of prep work going to go into the early parts of this particular chapter. Not chapter, act, I'm sorry. Either way, head inside the front door, go down this corridor, and that's the ladder that we just gained access to by flicking the switch. You couldn't quite see it, but that's the window there that we climbed through to gain access so that we can get up this ladder. It's very dark here. I will try and spend most of my time in daytime so that you guys can see a little bit better. But all you need to know is to go up 2 ladders and then open another door and head inside the room that you've now got access to. And we're going to go down a set of stairs inside this room. And once you make it to this door, it may be closed. I think I opened it on a previous run. I'm going to jump onto the train tracks and then across towards where you can see this red and white rug on the ground. we want to make our way to this door. Now, the reason I'm doing this at night time is through here there is a door that can only be unlocked at night time. So that's where we're trying to get to, and that's why it's a bit dark. Each time you die, there are 3 different, I guess, time zones for this particular act. There's nighttime like this, then there's morning or day, and then there's, I think, sort of afternoon / dusk, where it's starting to get a little bit darker. So here's the nighttime door, and we can only open this door at night, but if we leave it open, we should be able to gain access now during the day as well. Once inside the nighttime door, we want to grab the gramophone, or whatever you'll call this contraption here. Now, there are 2 of these in the game, and it's very important for me to mention that they have a function that when you turn the music on, one of them makes plants grow and one of them makes plants shrink, and we're going to need both of those functions. Anyway, pick up the gramophone and head back out the night door, and we need to drop just over this ledge to where we see this pipe. I nearly fell all the way off, but what we want to do is turn on the valve here to release some water. You have to press it a few times, this one, until it pops off like that and the water pours out. So make sure you do that before we continue on. And now what I want to do is not back up where we came from, but I want to get through this window here. And I threw that box because I thought that I had to smash the window, but it's already open. Now, it's hard to see here, but what we have is a series of ball machines. They are shooting balls at a set of switches. In front of those ball machines, though, is a whole bunch of baby plants that are yet to grow. I'm trying to set this up properly, but it didn't work. But turn it on anyway, and these plants here will grow. And I do apologize for it being hard to see, but if you're playing along, you'll see it yourself. And we'll also have another look at it later when it is daytime. Now, those balls were hitting these switches. Make sure all the switches are on red. As long as they're all on red, we will. They open a door that we're going to go to later in the game. And don't forget to pick up this piece of cake. We're going to need a few pieces of cake for an achievement later in the game. So make sure you can leave the gramophone there. You must leave the gramophone there actually turned on so that those plants stay where they are and the plants block the switches, because we want to leave the switches all where they are. We don't want those balls tampering with that. Now, with your piece of cake in hand, we're going to head back to the front door of Old Man Grumpy's house, and you can find a watering can here. Again, you can do these things in any order you like. This is just the order I chose to do them in. I had to drop a cardboard box in order to be able to pick up the watering can. And now we're going to take the piece of cake and the watering can back into our house here. And I like to leave things on this table here. I'm going to leave the watering can and the piece of cake because we're going to need those later. All right, now I've just done a quick save there. Make sure you do little periodic saves. They might help you. You might not really need to do them because every time you get caught, you do come back to where you were. But it definitely helps when making these recordings if I have sort of a solid save spot. Grab my cardboard box back, and this time we're heading inside once again. I probably could have or should have got caught or reloaded the save to change the time of day. Instead of going up the ladder though, this time turn to your left and go up the stairs. And what we need to do is jump onto this railing here and then jump on top of the light fitting across above the stairs. And then we can use that to jump into this room here. Now we can open the door so that we don't have to do that jump again. That opens the access here. Now you need to throw something at this very picture right here, the top right hand corner on that particular wall. Throw something at that, and as you can see there, it drops this picture frame down and creates a secret entrance or a little ramp into a secret room or a secret passage so that we can now gain access to another higher part or higher section of the house. And we're just going to move these chairs out of the way just to help us later gain access to different rooms. And then what I've done there is I actually made a save and then reloaded the save because I was sick of the nighttime and not being able to see. So now we are in the daytime. The other option, you could have just got caught by the grumpy old man or jumped off the roof and died. And the same result, you'd be put back at your house during the daytime. Okay, so now that we've got daytime, going up the 2 ladders, down the stairs, and once again onto this train track here. And we're going to head towards the nighttime door, because something I didn't show you before is there's also, once inside the nighttime door, there is a daytime door. And we can only open this door in the morning sort of time, the time directly after the nighttime. You can come to this door with the sun on top of it, open it up and grab another piece of cake. Make sure you move this chair. I nearly left without doing it. In fact, I don't think we actually need to here, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just, it's a good habit. Good habit to be in is to move all the chairs in case you need to access different rooms. Make it easier to get to. Ah, that's right. We actually do need to come through here. And we want to pick up this. Is this the guitar that we want? I think it is, yeah. Make sure you grab this guitar. And we're going to open this gate by flicking this switch here. Yeah, I thought for a second we were going to go do something else first, but no, we're going to go set up something else that's handy for later on. I'm just going to get past these boxes by moving a couple of them out of the way just to make it easier to get through. Make sure you hang on to the piece of cake. If you feel worried even, you could go put it back in our house where I put the other piece of cake. Make sure you grab this torch though as well. So we need the guitar and the torch, and we're going to set up a bit of a picture. Have a look at this picture on the wall. We need to make the room look a little bit like that, the same sort of configuration, and that flicks a switch. It sort of pushes a little switch and opens access to the generator that you can actually hear outside. You could actually hear that a second ago. So chuck the torch up there on the shelf. Check that it matches, sort of similar. It doesn't have to be up the exact same way or anything like that. The guitar goes up on here, just like that. That's fine, as long as it's standing up somewhere there. The pillow is going to go sort of close to the corner, somewhere on the red sort of carpet, but in the corner. Then we need the skateboard. And as you can see, that's just sitting somewhere in front of the pillow, in front of the set of drawers or the dresser or whatever you want to call it. I'm not 100% sure whether it matters, but I like to make sure it's upright on its wheels. There we go. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. One more thing we need is this hat here. It should always be sitting on the floor somewhere around here. And that needs to just go up next to the guitar somewhere on our left-hand side. Just here somewhere. There we go. You might have trouble getting the torch. The torch is usually the hardest part of getting that right. All right, now you go to this window here and check and make sure. I'll freeze the screen. I'll do a screen capture here. You make sure this gate is open, and you can tell by that pole pointing outwards. You can tell that that is open, and that gives us access to the generator. And I just fell out of the window and died, but that's okay because we wanted to come back here anyway and leave the piece of cake. So now I've just done another save. We've got 2 pieces of cake and the watering can. So we're making some progress. And it'll all make sense as you complete things. It'd be a 3-hour video if I explained it all properly before we do it. So we'll just, I'll just explain things as we do them. Back up the ladders. You're going to be coming up here quite a bit. Back down this staircase. And once again, out onto the train tracks. We're going somewhere else this time though, but we're just using this as a way to get down there. So you need to aim for this sort of landing here. And we're going to need a mannequin. We're going to need 4 of those altogether. So pick up the mannequin and bring it with you. And drop. Make sure you drop into this hole here, but don't drop through the next hole that you can see just in front of me. Flick this switch to open the glass and access this button. Turn that button on, and what that does is it makes a train run. You've seen the train track around the house. Now there's a train car or a tram car, whatever you want to call it. Now we have to, I forgot that we couldn't get through that door yet. We have to drop out of here to continue on, and that's all right. So the train is going to be going around now, and you'll see it. If you've done any exploring at all, you'll notice that there's been sort of boards on the train tracks that prevent you from using the train tracks to access certain areas, but that train is going to be driving around, knocking all those boards down and make things a lot easier for us. Heading inside the kitchen this time, we're just grabbing a basketball, and once again, that is for another achievement that we will be showing you guys a bit later. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the basketball back into the house and the mannequin. So we want to leave the mannequin anywhere around here just so that we can grab it later. And I'm also going to drop the basketball somewhere, and then I think I forget where I left it later on. But anyway, make sure you leave the basketball somewhere. We've got the watering can, the basketball, 2 bits of cake and a mannequin. Maybe make a save, might be a smart idea. As you can see there, I didn't, but that's okay. Back inside we go. I think he's chasing me. As soon as you hear that music, you know that he's spotted you. All right, we're going up the secret ramp again this time. Head all the way up these ramps. I was wondering where he'd gone, but that's okay. Now over here is the red key. That's going to be important later. We're going to grab that red key in just a minute, but before we do, head over to this shelf and grab the binoculars. And you don't actually need these binoculars because I'm going to tell you the code anyway, but I want to show you exactly how we get the code. I don't like to do things without showing you how or why. So we need to push, these are all buttons on the wall, and pushing them in the right sequence turns on a bit of a, what would you call that thing? A moving platform, and it sort of turns it on. And you can see across there, that is the code. I'm not sure if that was real easy to see, but the code was 2, 3, 6, and 9. 2, 3, 6, 9. So pressing buttons 2, 3, 6, and 9 turns this platform on. And we're not going to use the platform right now, but we're definitely going to use the platform at least twice later in the game. Like I said, all of this is prep work. That's what I call it. All preparing for the achievements later on. Now, back where we got the binoculars, this time we're going to pick up this little shoe. This is the trusted way that I know to flick this switch. Make sure you get sort of, it's going to open the access to the red key. Make sure you get a bit of a, hold the right trigger button on until you see that it's maximum velocity. Flicking the switch opens the access to the key, and we've got the red key as well now. So hopefully you can follow all this. Very, very important to grab the red key. It allows us to access different things. There's a whole heap of basketballs there, you might have noticed. If you can't find any, you can come back up here and grab some basketballs for the achievement later. I assume you can grab them. I've never actually tried, to be perfectly honest. Opening this door here and opening this panel, we need to pick up this crowbar. You can see it's all lit up because it is super, super hot. So we picked it up, but then it dropped it immediately because it burnt our hand. And we're just going to leave it down there where it dropped. We do need the crowbar later, but we can just leave it there to cool off. Now, this is the most important object in the game, probably besides cardboard boxes, is the umbrella. It's probably even more important than cardboard boxes. So make sure you pick up the umbrella, head out this door. You can see those 4 lights that are all on, and we need to pick up this globe. Those lights all are on because of those switches that we blocked the ball machines from hitting by growing the plants. Oh, can get confusing, this game, but make sure we've got the red key, we've got the umbrella, and we've got the globe. And then we can jump out of here. Now the umbrella, you press LB to open it or close it. With it open, you float through the air, sort of glide. And what we want to do is glide across to here. You can get hit by this train, in which case you will die and have to start back at your home location. And we're going to use this moving platform that we turned on before. I like to just jump and land on it. And it takes us down this end where we find yet another mannequin. So now we've got 4 important things. We've got the red key, we've got a mannequin, we've got the globe, and the umbrella. All things that we are going to need for different achievements. So it's probably a good idea to head back home and put a few things down so that we can keep them all in a safe place. Apart from the umbrella we are going to be carrying around with us for most of the rest of the game. It comes in very, very handy if we accidentally fall from a high place. Oh, before we put everything down, what we need to do is we need to freeze this globe. But before we can do that, we need to move that bottle. And it can be very, very finicky and tricky to get this globe in here. I think this was about my 10th try, trying to throw the globe into the freezer. Make sure you throw it in and close it. It doesn't actually need to be in there for very long at all to freeze, but we don't need it right now. So I'm going to leave it in the freezer. And then I'm going to head over here. I'm going to put down the mannequin. And I'm going to also put the red key on the table so that we can keep it here for later. So we've got 2 bits of cake, red key, watering can, and 2 mannequins plus the globe in the freezer. Gonna save things, and then we're gonna go do some more prep work. And there we go, just doing another save just to make sure. All right, now we want to go in there, but the old man's in the way again. Yeah, go on, buzz off, head over that way. He's probably going to hear me or something, but no, we made it. Heading inside once again. Okay, and what we want to do, as I try and remember just here, but we do want to head up the ladders. It can be, this game, there's so much to do. It took me a long time to make this guide, just figuring out exactly where I wanted to go, and which way to do things, or which order to do things, in order to show you guys the best way to get the achievements. Now we actually want to go out this way, the way the train came from. But yeah, once again, be careful not to get hit by the train. Now what we want to do is land right here so that we can turn off the generator. Now the generator actually turns off the freezer, or the fridge freezer in the old man's house. I think I got caught again after that. So just starting back at the house, as long as we've turned off that generator from on top of the train tracks there, it's the easiest way to get to there. Now that, we were able to access that generator because of that picture that we did with, the skateboard and the hat and the guitar and all that earlier. All right, back inside, we want to head up these stairs and ramps and things back towards where we got the red key from, which is just there. And then back towards where we got the umbrella from. The crowbar is actually in here. Not that we're here for that at the moment. We want to drop into this room here. Now this is what I call the party room. And I'm going to move the chairs out of the way as usual. That's my habit. This is the party room. Eventually we want to bring all the pieces of cake that we've found, and we need to bring 4 mannequins into this room and set them up in order to get one of our achievements. But that's what we're going to do a little bit later. The reason we're here right now is to grab this magnet. And we're going to use it to grab a key in just a second. Flicking this switch just makes this gate rotate. Just goes all the way around. Once we're in here, we can grab this yellow key. Not the box. Grab the key. There we go. We're just going to use this immediately to open a door to gain access. I've got to put this box down before I can pick up the chair. Hang on. There we go. Move the chair out of the way. Take the box with us again. I'm always doing stuff like that. Always have a box with me just in case. Now that's the security cameras. It actually helps the old man find you a bit easier, but you can switch them all off right there. He's going to eventually turn them back on, but that might help temporarily. Switches all the security cameras off. Oh, also, something to mention as we go and unlock this yellow lock is you can go into your settings and put friendly mode on. It just makes the old man a little slower, and he doesn't set up traps and things. So you'll notice that I don't have any traps. If you don't have that setting on, he'll like set up bear traps and all sorts of things to try and slow you down and trap you. So definitely makes it a bit easier. Now we need to go out this door. This is why we got the magnet. So into this corridor with all the usually locked doors, where we unlock the yellow door, and make a jump across to here. Move this picture frame out of the way. Just throw it somewhere, we don't want it. And through here, you can use the magnet to grab the key. Don't do what I did. I accidentally just flicked the left bumper button and the key dropped on the floor. You can hold the button on and the key would have come all the way across to us. But anyway, I went back around to where we got the magnet from, and that's where the key has dropped. So either way, make sure you get the blue key. I definitely did it the hard way, but it's not a big issue because it's easy to get to where it drops. Otherwise, we would have been in a bit of trouble. Alright, and now we've found the back way through to where the secret ramp is. And that's the top of the staircase is where we find the blue lock. We're going to open that door. And now we've found another way into this room where the crowbar is. So that's where the crowbar dropped earlier in the game. That's where we got the globe from back there. We don't need the blue key anymore. We don't need the magnet anymore, so we're going to drop those. And we're going to use that door a little bit later. But for now, we can take the crowbar with us. We really only need it for one tiny second. Now, I'm going to clear, or if the old man doesn't catch me, I want to clear the boxes off this little ramp. So that's a little, ramp's probably not the right word, platform. All right, the old man's after me, so he mixed up my plans. But either way, take a trusty cardboard box with us, and we're going to get away. It's not super important right now what we were about to do. We can come back. We have to come back later anyway. So now that we've got the crowbar, we can go to the front door, go inside, and this is the way down to the basement where I guess we're trying to save somebody. I think that's the main point of this. Anyway, we're going to use the crowbar to get rid of all these nails. Get all of the boards off the door. We're not going to go through the door or anything. We can't yet anyway. Actually, we technically probably could. But yeah, we're definitely not going through the door yet. Just going to move the planks out of the way for later so they're not in our way or stopping the door from opening. Oops. Just trying to pick up this other one. Now, you actually don't need the crowbar again after this. I wasn't sure yet at the time of this recording. That's right, we turned the freezer off, so here's the key card. Make sure you do not use the key card yet. The key card opens the door where we just removed the planks of wood, but we definitely do not want to do that yet. We've got some achievements we need to grab before we go through that door. So we're just going to leave the key card in here. Now you'll see I leave the crowbar here, as I was just explaining. We don't actually need it again, but I kept it here just in case. But you feel free to get rid of it. All right, so I've done a save. We've got the key card. We've got the red key there. We've got the frozen globe in here. We've got the bits of cake. We still need one more piece of cake, and we still need 2 more mannequins, I think it is. Anyway, grab the frozen globe. Now, you do need to be quick once you've got the frozen globe. We're going to head all the way up through the secret ramp to the secret room, as I've been calling it, up these stairs and into this door right here. And you need to place the frozen globe in here by pressing LB, not just throwing it with right trigger or dropping it with right trigger. You need to press LB, and it puts it on that little contraption. Here's the old man again. I got caught after I placed that, but as long as it's there, we're going to go see and make sure that it worked. We're going to head all the way to the top of the ladders. So you know how we normally only go up 2 ladders? This time we're going to go up all 3 ladders to the top. There's some water up there, which is normally water, sorry. But if we've done it right with the frozen globe, the water at the top will now be frozen, and it will allow us to walk on top of it. This right here, the frozen water, as long as it's frozen, now we can jump up on top of these shelves, and we're going to grab the second gramophone machine thing, or record player, or whatever you want to call it. This thing here. Now, you saw the other one made the plants grow. This one makes plants shrink. And we're going to be using that shortly to do just that, to shrink some plants that are in our way. We are not shrinking the plants that we saw earlier, but there are 2 different sections where we're going to use this instrument, let's call it. And we're going to get the first one right now. The old man's on my tail. But either way, follow this train track. Be careful, that train is about to take off, so as long as it's still turned on. Sometimes the old man turns it off. So if that happens, you may need to turn it back on the way we turned it on earlier by pushing this button here. As you can see, it's not moving, so he obviously did turn it off. And I think I've just realized, so I'm going to go back in and turn it on again, because we actually need to use it soon and we need it to be moving. No, don't push that. Yeah, don't close the glass. Push that. And maybe push it again. Just make sure the train's going. Yeah, all the lights have come on. It should take off in a second, hopefully. Anyway, I'm not sticking around to find out. I want to go and use this instrument. So once again, follow the train tracks. We're looking for a room with some of those plants in it. Look, there may be easier ways to get to these places. I may have gone the wrong direction, but one way or the other, we're going to get this stuff done, guys. All right, so you can drop it down here. God, what happened to it? There it goes. Turn it on. God awful music plays. No wonder it shrinks the plants. And they will stay shrunk once we've used it. Just wait till we can gain full access to that door behind there. There we go. And turn it off and make sure you bring it with us. We don't need to shrink all the plants. It's just so that we can get through to this door. Dropping down the ladder. And here is our next mannequin. Alright, so we've got another mannequin. We've got our gramophone thingy. And we've got our umbrella still. And a trusty cardboard box so that we can get out of here. Pick the box back up. Now jump out here, but remember to have your umbrella ready to go so you can just float all the way back across to our house across the road. And once here, we're going to pop down the third mannequin. Look, it really doesn't matter that it's not standing up. I just trying to make a decent video here, guys. So I'm trying to stand it up. But anyway, save things. We've got our 3 mannequins now, 2 bits of cake. We've got the key card, the red key, the watering can, and we've got the gramophone, whatever you want to call it, thingy-majiggy, with us, as well as the umbrella, of course. All right. Got a few more things to do. Just a little bit more prep work before we start getting achievements, guys. So hopefully this is all easy to follow. Post a comment, let me know what you think. Putting a lot of work into this one, so any feedback I can take on board and work things out. Now what we need to do is actually move the train, and believe it or not, we can actually get into the train car, and then we can control the train car. So hop inside, you've got to push RB to open the door, RB to open this door, and then you're immediately in control. Pushing back, let's say you're going forwards. If you push back, it'll put the brakes on. If you push back again, it'll put you in reverse. And the same thing in the opposite direction. Now, this is very important. We're going to leave the train car right here, somewhere in this vicinity. Make sure you've got it very, very close to where I've got it, so that you can jump out the door and access this platform here, even though having trouble getting out the door. I need to try and duck down, I think. I was knocking my head, I must be too tall. Yeah, somewhere around there we can get in front of it and get in the building still. And you'll find out in a little while exactly why we're leaving it there. But yeah, that's where we want to leave it for now. So now what we need to do, I'm thinking I need some more cardboard boxes. But I've still got that. Yeah, I need one more cardboard box. And as you can see in this sort of window up here, there's a whole heap. If you jump and hold the pick up button, the RB button, you'll be able to pick up heaps of boxes from up there. So if you're running out, I made this jump and died. We're about to set up these boxes here. Just 2 of them will do, I think. Or no, I think I do end up going back for more. I think 3 boxes is ideal for this particular jump that we need to make. So put a couple down, grab a couple more from that window. Here's a couple that I prepared earlier off camera. And we're going to jump up on top of these 2, do our little box trick. Make sure that we have, we're 3 boxes high. I think 1 fell, so we'll put another one down. There we go. And for some reason I decided to hop off, but yeah. Oh, that's right. We want to take a couple boxes with us up to where we're going. So we've made 3 boxes high, but we still want a couple more boxes with us. So I'm just trying to grab a couple here. There we go. So we've got 2 more boxes plus the 3 that we're going to use to make this jump. And now the old man comes along right when we don't want him. And I knocked off one of the boxes. So it can be very, very tricky to get this done. But there we go. Now I'm on 3. I haven't got any more boxes with me. A couple dropped. But we are coming back anyway. So what you want to do is jump across onto this pipe. It's a very tough jump to make sometimes. And now we want to make our way up the pipe a little bit to a point where we can jump across onto the train car. Once again, this can be a hard jump. You may have to have a couple of attempts at this if you're anything like me at either platforming or just at games like this in general. And now we've got access to this roof. As soon as you get on this roof, you want to go back down the ladder here. And I will change the daylight soon so that you can actually see what I'm doing. But here at the bottom of the ladder is a spanner. We definitely want this spanner. So back up we go. And I think this is why I ended up dropping a couple of the boxes so that I could pick up these other things. Oh, don't fall. And what we want to do now is open up this gate so that we can access the ladder and we don't have to make that jump across the pipe onto the train car anymore. And that train can move now that we've done that. And I'll just come back to the same spot, but this time with a bit of daylight, back up onto the roof. And hopefully you've still got the gramophone with you if you're following along. And I'm going to put it down here, we're going to turn it on, and then we're going to pick it back up and walk around, making sure we get rid of all these plants up here. And I'm just going to speed the video up a little bit while it's doing that. Number one, because it's horrible music, and number two, just to save a little bit of time for you guys. Come on, press the fast forward button, Aussie. There we go. Now, believe it or not, I did not add this music to this video. That is just the sound that thing makes when I sped it up. Alright, once all the plants are gone and you're happy, drop the thing again, turn the damn thing off. There we go. Pick it back up though. Now we are finished using it. We've shrunk all the plants that we need to shrink. We need to turn this machine off, and you can throw just about anything in here to turn it off. But I was fed up with this gramophone and the stupid noise it made. So I wanted to destroy it. Although I don't think it does destroy it. I needed to throw a cardboard box at it a couple of times to get it to fall in, because it's not the best fit. But we do want to put something hard down into that hole. I managed to just save that box. So now you can see all the gears aren't moving anymore. If you find that you actually needed the gramophone again, you can actually grab it out of that hole. But now we've got access to this ladder. We're going all the way up the top of both ladders. And here is our final mannequin. We need him for an achievement, a couple of achievements we need the mannequins for. Now what we want to do is we want to grab the apple seed, and this relates to the achievement I mentioned earlier about growing a tree. It's going to be a golden apple tree we're going to be growing. We have to jump up onto this railing, and you can see a little platform down there with a chair on it. We need to float across to that. Make sure your umbrella's open. And we need to land on this platform. We're going to start the process towards getting that achievement where we have to wait for the tree to grow. Alright, and make sure you pick up this seed. I was super worried here that I'd stuffed it up. I didn't have enough room to pick up the seed, so I had to throw a box. Then the chair fell over and I was like, oh, where's the seed? Where's the seed? Because you do not want to lose this seed. And then I nearly pushed it off the platform. Now, I'm sure we could have dropped down and found it eventually, but then I accidentally picked up the chair, but there we go. The seed did not fall off. We've got it. All right, so make sure you grab this particular seed. I've noticed in other guides, it might have been in other locations in previous versions of the game, but that's where it is as of the time of this recording. I think I recorded the footage on the 1st of June 2019. It's taken me, I mean, it's only the 12th or the 12th of June now, but it's taken me a long time to sort of piece all of this together, guys. But here we go. Now, we can put the mannequin down, but we're going to use the seed straight away. We want to get the seed planted in the ground as soon as we can. Oh God, the mannequins are doing a little dance. Let's just fix that up. All right. And the other thing we need is the watering can, because we're going to plant the seed and then we're going to water it to help it grow. All right, so now we need to fill the watering can up. You just throw it in this sink here. Doesn't even have to be upright like I managed to get it upright there. Turn the tap on and you will hear the watering can slowly filling up. And keep filling it up until you can see, I mean, it might be hard if the watering can's not up the right way, but you'll notice that you can see the blue at the top of the watering can, that you can see the water. So we can turn it off and we can go and grab the watering can. And now we could actually use it to water things. Now that's another way that you could have cooled off the crowbar rather than waiting for it to cool off. You could pour cold water on the crowbar, and that would have helped us be able to pick it up earlier if that's something you were interested in. Anyway, with the apple seed in hand, head to the old man's front yard and find the patch of dirt over in this corner. Somewhere in the middle, you're going to press LB. Make sure it's LB, don't just drop it on top. And again, LB with the watering can, and just spray the water all over this dirt patch, anywhere you can. And I get interrupted here by the old man, unfortunately. Unbeknownst to me, I actually had put enough water on there, but in a minute we're going to go and check and make sure that it started to grow. As long as you see what I see in just a minute, as long as it started to grow, then you don't need any more water. Before we do that though, with the spanner, the last thing we need to do with the spanner is open up this gate just to make things a little bit easier to get up there. So we don't need the spanner anymore. I'm just going to head over here, make sure the plant's growing. I did have a death in between, or a cat, he caught me in between, so it may take a few minutes before it starts to look like this, but as long as it's looking like that, you know you've done what is required. All right, so I don't need the spanner anymore. Same as the crowbar, I just sort of leave important things in here just in case I find something else. Because even at this stage of recording, I was still experimenting a few things, trying to figure out exactly what to do. So there we go, I've saved the game again. And I promise, guys, we are getting close to completing our preparations. Now, I had to wait for him to leave, but basically just need to get up these ladders. Now, you could probably find another way around. But anyway, just looking for some cardboard boxes. Didn't bring enough with me. And what we want to do is actually climb up into this room here. I'm trying to see if there's some more, if I just have to use some that are already up there. We're going to stack some boxes just here somewhere, and we're going to make our way, sort of build ourselves a way to get up into that room. I'm trying to just jump up and grab some more boxes out of there. It's definitely doable, don't you worry about that. Even if you don't have any to start with, you can just grab them from up there. Do our little jump box trick. Box jump trick, whatever you want to call it, till you've got enough so that you can jump up onto the ledge here, and then you'll have to duck down in order to get through. There we go, and just push all these boxes out of the way. Pick up a couple more. But yeah, we're going to need to leave a space because we're about to pick up something else. So once up here, I just wanted to have a bit of a look around. I hadn't paid much attention to this room. It's not too important, but we need to just head inside here. And now none of this is turned on because we are through the gramophone thing into that gear up on the roof. So none of this is on. You could be, let's just say it's dangerous to your health to come in here before you do that. And now we've got the green key, so we can head back out the way we came. And what you want to do is head all the way down the bottom. Now I think I get caught here, but I might just cut the video, I can't remember. Yeah, he's in my way. You could have just head down the ramps as well. All we want to do is get to the bottom of the ladders there. You know, it doesn't look like it did get caught. Either way, we want to get to the bottom of the ladders next to the staircase there and use the green key. Still carrying our umbrella with us here. So next to this staircase, get around all the boxes. You may need to move them, or you can jump over like I did. Either way, get to this door, use the green key. And we don't need it anymore. As soon as we've used it, we can always throw them away. And heading in here, this is our first little mini game. As soon as you've got control, head into one of these lockers on either side, it doesn't matter. And there's going to be these weird mannequin things pushing trolleys around back and forth. And then when that bell goes, instead of there being 10 or so of them, there's only one that you need to avoid. If they catch you, you will have to start the mini game again. You can see them, the bell went, and now there's a few of them sort of walking around out there. As soon as the bell goes, they all disappear except for one, and that way you can actually move. I nearly got caught by one there. And in between those bells, you need to make it to the next set of lockers. As soon as you get to the next set, hop in, wait for them all to speed around, and just wait for another bell. Rinse and repeat all the way to the other end of this big long area. once you get right near the end, you don't actually even need to worry about the lockers, but we'll get in another locker here. Pretty simple. Shouldn't have too much trouble with this one. You might get caught once or twice while you're working out how to get in and out of the lockers, but other than that, alright, I don't even bother hopping in those lockers when I can see the door, run for the door, open up the door, and we're going to get caught by one of these gigantic mannequins again, and it's going to teach us a new skill. So when he grabs us, make sure you tap the A button over and over and over, and it teaches us that we can fight back and push the mannequin over, and that's going to teach us that we can actually do the same to the grumpy old man. Not that that really comes in handy. And there is our first achievement for beating that first little mini game. That's the start of our achievement run now, guys. We're going to start making our way through all of the achievements for the rest of the game. Once we're back in control, you can grab this white key and undo this lock just to find another way through the house. I don't think I ever end up even coming back through this way, but it can be a faster way inside if you happen to be stuck, I guess. All right, like I said, time to work on these other achievements. We're going to head back into the house. Open the door. There we go. All right, and we're going to grab the red key this time. And there's going to be another achievement, another mini game and achievement linked to using this red key. So take the red key with you. I just did a quick save just in case. Heading inside the house. I'm going to head all the way to the roof again, up these first two ladders, out to the ladder out here. You'll notice the train car's moved again. The old man must have turned it back on or something. Either way, we're going up this ladder. That's why we opened up the access to the ladder. Up to the roof, and you'll see that the plants have remained shrunk and out of our way so that we can get back up to the ladder. Now, we don't actually need to go to the ladder. Here I was just checking. I'm looking for the room that has the lock that we need to access with this red key. There it is. So you can float from here, from the top of that ladder, float over to that, I guess, would you call it a building? It's like a floating building or a suspended building. I was just trying to work out whether you needed to do it from up here or not. You know, I want to teach you guys the quickest, easiest way to do things. I think you've got the best chance of floating from here without missing it. We need to get on top of this little suspended building or suspended room and drop inside it into this hole here. There we go. Couldn't have practiced it any better. All right, so once you're in here, we're going to use the red key. We're going to open this door. Throw away the red key, open the door, and we'll find ourselves in another sort of mini game section where we're all sort of shrunk, and we've just got to work our way all the way to the top, basically. And across here, just show you the way up, basically. We need to make a big jump all the way across to here, landing on these books, and then up on top of this juice box. Just going to work our way all the way to the top of this closet, basically. There are a couple of different ways to do it, but I'll show you how I got to the top. Now you pick up one of these mugs and throw it at the vase here so that the ramp will drop down and we'll have another way up. Get up on top of this here. You may need to move the vase a little bit more to make it drop even further. Over to this shelf here and across these planks of wood. And we're going to make our way to the top of the door here, underneath the exit sign. And this is where you learn about toasters. When you're shrunk, you can jump inside toasters and they're going to launch us off. And you may need to do this a couple of times, but we're aiming for where these green arrows are. It was maybe a little bit tricky to see, but as long as you end up here, we can now climb all these goods here. Looks like some tuna, no thanks. Climb all the way to the top again. Turn around and jump across where we see this dartboard and darts. Now you want to grab 3 or 4 of the darts, probably 4 of them, just in case. Grab 4 darts, bring them with us. You'll notice you can't actually interact with everything here, but certain things you can. So grab the darts and we're going to head out this way. Now, you'll see these paper aeroplanes are making their way across there. You can actually jump onto the paper aeroplanes and ride them across to this other side. I find it's a lot easier just to make our way around like this rather than risk falling. Anyway, we need to make our way all the way up here using all these things, all these objects, climb on top of them, make our way up to where these candles are. Once we're here, we need to get up this side of the wall here by throwing the darts. You throw one at a time, and we're going to sort of make a staircase out of these darts. I had to do some tricky editing here because it's sort of, I found it wasn't quite working for me here. But either way, all you need to do, let's just keep this simple, is throw all the darts till you've got enough darts and you're high enough that you can just jump up like that. So throw all the darts, then jump on top of them and make your way up here. Once you're up on this plank, we're up basically at the end. We need to run and jump towards that light. I think the concept is that we're going to use it to swing out the window. And that is where the game teaches us that we can now double jump. And we're back in the closet and we're back in our normal size. But yeah, so now we can double jump. That's, I guess, the difference. I was waiting for that achievement to pop, but now it's popped. You have to go back out of the closet, and there is achievement number 2. All right, guys, we're finally getting somewhere. I feel like it was a good moment when we finally start getting achievements for this game. All right, there's nothing else we can do up here. You can see that the tree's still slowly growing there. Just down there. Alright, all the way back down to the front door. You probably could have jumped and landed somewhere else, but I like to sort of start at a reference point for you guys so that you guys, in case you fell or died or got caught, you have a sort of a reference point so you know where to go back to. Okay, now we're going to use this moving platform. First thing we need to do is move everything off it. You probably don't actually have to move everything off it, but I just find it easier. Take all the boxes off and the chair. Get that out of the way. So this platform that these boxes and chair are on, it actually moves up when we move that. When we flick a switch, that is that switch over there. So we're going to throw the box at it. May take a couple of goes. Throw the box at the switch over here. There we go, and it just makes the platform go up. And we're going to go in here for another mini game. All right, in we go. Okay, so this mini game is a shopping mini game. We have to push this trolley along, and we have to put 5 specific items inside the trolley, and then push the trolley all the way to the checkout. There are the mannequins that are getting around in this particular area that once they see us, they will try and attack us. And if they bump into us with their trolley or whatever, we'll have to start again. But the trolley will remain in place. I did read guides that said that the items you'll have to start again, but that didn't happen for me. Either way, I'll show you which items we need. You might find them in all sorts of different places, but we need the juice box. Pop it in. Now, if the mannequins start making their silly noise like that, and they start coming towards you, you need to duck, and you need to try and put something in between you and them, and they will eventually give up. Just ducking on its own does not prevent them from catching you, so you may need to move and duck. And when you're in the clear, we can keep moving again. And I'm just looking around for the items that we need. Ooh, see, he mustn't have come close enough there. If you do get caught, you just come back to where you left your trolley and continue putting items in it. Now we need both of these items. We need the pickle jar. So the green pickle jar. Go and place that in the trolley. can be the hardest part, is actually getting it in the trolley. I actually did pretty well on this playthrough, considering, as I try and avoid these guys. There we go. Pickle jar in the trolley. Back where we got the pickle jar, I'll just push the trolley back down there, is this pink bottle of whatever it is. So that's a perfect example where I just sort of hid behind there and then ducked down. And there we go. So that large pink bottle, place that in there as well. They're relentless in this. I actually did alright on this playthrough, but I have had times where this took a long time because they kept catching me. And just keep working our way along the track. It's actually cool that they put the trolley on a track so that we don't have to actually do too much in order to get it to go where we want it to go. Now this pink bottle here, so we've got the long skinny pink bottle and now the short wide pink bottle or container. Try and make our way back to our trolley. And so that's going to be the fourth out of the 5 items that we need. Once I get it in. Oh, come on. In you go. And I'm just tapping the right trigger to do that. And looking up in the air slightly. All right, now we need a packet of chips. Oh, that was close. I sort of tried to wedge myself in between these shelves, but that was probably lucky. Now you can outrun them too. We need the packet of chips, or whatever this might be. I'm going to call it a packet of chips. And so this is the 5th item. You do need these exact 5 items. Doesn't matter where you get them from though. They might be on different shelves. But they are the 5 items that you need to put in your trolley. Now that we've got them all, we just need to get to the end. I guess the other option is to either leave the trolley at the start and fill it up, or push the empty trolley all the way to the end and then fill it up. I'm not sure, but yeah, see what works for you. As long as you get these 5 items in there. Now, if you do have the wrong items in the trolley and you push it all the way to the end, you will have to start all over again. I think you fall through a trapdoor from memory. Because as I do with every game, I try and figure this all out on my own. To figure out, I guess what I do is I try and figure out what a normal player, because I consider myself a normal player, would have trouble with in order to know what I can tell you guys to help you guys who are wanting to just find achievements and stuff like that. Now, once you're here, the gate will shut and the lights will light up one at a time. As long as you've got all 5 products right, you'll have 5 green lights. If one of the lights is red, one or more of the lights are red, you're out of luck and you have to start again. Once the gate opens, just run to the door and out we go. And there we go with yet another achievement for overcoming crowd phobia. I'm not sure how that made us overcome crowd phobia, but there we go. And once again, we move the chair out of the way, open another door. Once again, just opens up further access, and you'll recognize where we are here. Back to our plants and balls and switches. But we really don't need to come this way, so I find it easier to go back here. Back to familiar territory, really. Alright, so now we have 3 boxes and an umbrella. And let's go, oh, there's the old man. Let's go start working on the next achievement. What we're going to do is climb up onto the roof again, all the way up the ladders this time. And there is an achievement for climbing to the highest point in the game, or on the house, whatever it might be. So we'll grab that achievement while we're here. I'll show you how to get to the top. It's pretty simple. Up we go. And we're just going to stand on this railing here. So just jump up onto it and then make this tricky jump. This can be tricky to jump onto this pipe over here. If you miss it, make sure you've got your umbrella open and you just float back around to the ladder and try again. There we go. Really starting to tick off these achievements now. We'll have 1,000 points in no time, or in approximately 30 minutes of video time. All right, just across these radiators or whatever they might be. Come on, just got to sort of duck. It looks like you might have to jump, but you don't. You just have to walk across, because I was hitting my head on that ramp there. All right. And I'm going to just stack a box or two here, hopefully. It's very, very finicky sometimes, this game. You probably can do it off one box, but I like, when I'm recording, I try and just do things making sure as best I can. But there, as soon as you jump up here, the achievement pops for watch your head, sky is the limit. And that's all we have to do for that part. Now, I ended up jumping down and I think I died or something like that, or got caught. Either way, we ended up back in our house, which is where we want to be. Now, it is time for yet another achievement. But there's a tiny, tiny little bit of prep work that we have to do first. Oh, and he's going to make it even harder by chasing me. So I was going to grab the bits of cake and start that, but there's something else we need to do first. So... oh God, trying heading up these ladders without falling like I just did. Always look out for the train. You know which way it comes. It's going to come this way. All right, so we need the last bit of cake. So this is the spot where we usually leave the train. Make sure you throw something at that window, smash it open, and then climb up here. Make sure the window is open first. I guess you could throw something at the window from up here, but I find it easy from that particular spot. Although I think I did get hit by the train once while I was standing there trying to aim the throw. Maybe that's why that load just happened just now. Anyway, I'm going to jump onto this pipe here and then float into the window. Yeah, I forgot to grab this before starting the achievement run, basically. But once again, doesn't matter. I was just trying to make sort of everything as simple as possible. Okay, so now that we've got the final bit of cake, I'm going to go grab some more bits of cake. And we're going to go take... so what we need to do now is we need to take all of the cake and all of the mannequins to the party room that I showed you guys earlier. So what we're going to do is actually leave the umbrella here. It's one of the very few times that we don't take the umbrella with us, and we're going to take as much as we can in one trip, and then we're going to have to come back for the rest. So take 3 bits of cake and a mannequin. And now we're going to head to the party room. I'm just going to do a quick save. And the quickest way to the party room is actually if we go up this ladder here and break in through a window on this balcony here. Now you'll see I use my mannequin because we don't have any other items to smash in this window, and unfortunately the mannequin bounces all the way down to the floor and we have to go back and grab it. Quicker to grab it now than get it on the next run, because we want to have more things with us, more things to carry. And in we go. You can see the security cameras are all on again, so I'm just going to switch them off again and make my way into the party room, which is through this door here. Okay, and now we just need to place all the bits of cake on the plates on the table. I've never actually tested whether just on the table would be okay or not. I've always just put them on top of the plates because I haven't had any trouble doing that. So let me know if anyone tries it without the plates. But the plates are automatically there. The thing that I do know is that you can actually move the plates or lose the plates. So I'm not too sure if you need them or not, but I'd keep them there just to be safe. And now you can just place the mannequin anywhere in the room. Does not matter whatsoever. Now I'm just going to go back the way we came. And we're going to go get the rest of the mannequins. There is another achievement. Now, just remember that you can pick up the umbrella now. We're going to have room because we've got the umbrella and 3 more mannequins. There is another achievement involving the mannequins. I definitely choose to do this particular achievement first because I don't want to risk losing one of the mannequins. Because for this achievement, you do need all of the mannequins. For the other achievement, you just need 1 mannequin. So I recommend doing this one first. And I'll tell you a little bit more about why a little bit later so that I don't spoil anything ahead of time. All right, back in the window, back into the party room, and just place the mannequins anywhere. You'll notice I do try and make them all stand up, but it doesn't matter. It's just my OCD or something making me do that, I think, for the purpose of the video, really. There we go. Is he up? Nope, he fell. As soon as we've put it into place, there we go. The party popper goes off. There's another rare achievement. I love listening to this noise. It has never grown old, that noise. Now it does drop out this BB gun or something. It just shoots these little foam bullets. We don't actually need that. I think that you can use that to help you get the red key if you don't use the shoe the way we did. But we're not going to use this gun for anything. Nothing at all that we're going to require that for. So I just had a little bit of a play around with it, and then we'll get rid of it. And we're going to take with us our umbrella, and we're going to take with us one of the mannequins. I like to take this mannequin because he's looks like he's trying to, he's a bit scared or something. And that's the mannequin that we're going to use for another achievement. Okay, but before we get to that achievement, I'm going to head back inside and I'm going to try and find the basketball that I left somewhere. I swear I left it just here somewhere, but it's moved around. There it is. All right, so we're going to grab the basketball. There's another achievement there. You may have noticed there's a basketball hoop on the left side of the house. And we just need to make a basket, basically. You can do it from anywhere. It's not as hard as it looks, really. So I just stand somewhere around here. It took me a few goes, but I guess the key is to not throw it too far. There we go. As long as you get it through the hoop, we'll grab the achievement. It's really not as hard as it looks. May take a few goes, but I recommend standing in one spot and just trying different strengths. The longer you hold the right trigger on, the harder you're going to throw it and stuff like that. Now, we've still got the mannequin with us. We need to place it down on the road. Make sure it's off to one side, not right in the middle of the road, because the next achievement we're going for is for having a car hit the mannequin. Now, if you stand right down near the road, the cars don't actually come. So what I'm trying to do here is get up to the roof so that I can look down at the mannequin and show you guys the mannequin being hit and get the achievement. But you'll notice, if you're real quick, you'll notice a car comes along and hits it just there. No, was it that one? No, it's as I jump down here, I'm trying to get a good vantage spot. And there we go. The car just hit it. But yeah, it was really hard to see. I didn't quite get to the vantage spot that I wanted. But leaving it on the road and having a car hit it activates or obtains that achievement, guys. So yeah, we're running through them now. Back to our house I go, just to sort of, once again, this is just where I start everything. Maybe do a quick save there. Now, actually, that save that I just made, you need to make sure you do make a manual save. That is very, very, very important. We're going to go up these ladders. Make a save before you do this next step that you can remember to reload later. So we are going to need to reload that save. Heading it out this way. Actually, just need to hop down on these train tracks somewhere. Just trying to remember which way to go. But what we're doing is we're looking for that moving platform that we turned on earlier, and we're going to find a little secret passage. So we need to hop on that. I nearly stuffed it up. But yeah, hop on that and jump into this little alcove, and then duck down and walk through that funny coloured panel there. You just walk straight through it. We're under some stairs now. Walk through this dark black door and through the Unreal Engine missing script. And we find ourselves in the graveyard out in the town, and we'll get an achievement for that. And now we need to walk to a few different locations, and just for going to these different landmarks, we grab achievements. So see that green roof, the building with the green roof there? I'll speed the video up, but we're just going to make our way to the building with the green roof. I believe this is the school. And we'll get an achievement for going back to school. And once again, I'll speed the video up again in a second, but what we're looking for now is in the distance off to our left, you can see a chimney there with the smoke coming out. We need to make our way to that building. And once again, I'll speed the video up. As long as you keep the chimney in your vision and head in that direction, you'll eventually come to this building here. Now, I have seen this one be a little bit tricky in terms of popping. You may have to walk up and down around here, or up closer to the building like I did there. But yeah, just grab that one there. I think it's a factory or something like that. And now from here, this one's a little bit trickier to get to because I can't see it from here. So I won't speed the video up. You can see a big lake or a dam or something down the bottom there. I'm going to head around this side of that body of water. And what you'll be looking for, you may see two of them, but you'll be looking for some yellow buildings. And we want to head for the yellow building on the right. Not sure if you see the second yellow building in this recording actually, but through these trees here, you can almost see it now, a yellow building. That's not exactly where we're heading. I just used that as a reference point. Okay, yeah, you can see both of them there. We need to head to the one on the right. A few other buildings mixed in as well. But I've always used this yellow building as my sort of reference point. And once we get to it, we just sort of head a little bit off to the right. Through all these trees, across this road. Not sure if you can get hit by a car or anything there. They never seem to come right when you're crossing the road. Okay, and we can see the building now. This one here, this big blue building on our right hand side. The police station, I assume. I hate all the spelling in this game. I don't know the reasoning of it. Anyway, should pop the achievement there. I don't know why that just irks me, that spelling. Anyway, okay, and now we're going to head to the hospital. You can see it off to our left. I'll speed up the video. There we are. Up to the hospital, get yet another achievement. Racking up the gamer score here, guys. Racking it up. Very, very easy. Once you know what to do, this whole game is easy. It's just a little bit fiddly with some of the things. All right, from the hospital, head off in this direction. I'll speed the video up again, as you can see. We just need to sort of head past these townhouses that are on our left-hand side, up and over this little hill. And on the other side of the townhouses, we will find, I guess it's a gas station. Either way, whatever this building is, it seems to trigger the achievement. Okay, now this one we're going to use a couple of landmarks. We've got one more to go, I think. So from the gas station, we kind of want to head towards that water tower, or look at the water tower and then turn to our right. So that water tower over there, but then turn, yes, I'm referencing where the gas station is. So head towards that water station, but there, or the water tower, and then head to the right of it, and you can see now in the distance is the supermarket. And this will be the final achievement here. Alright, now once you've got all those achievements, what you can do is load the save that I told you to remember from just a few minutes ago. So make sure you load that save back up so that we're back, back in Act 3, back at our house. Alright, there we go. Back in our house, we've got our umbrella. Yep, make sure it's open. Yes, Aussie, we can go out, it's safe. And what we need to do now is we want this tree to grow. And as you can see there, well, you might not know, but that is not big enough yet. We need it to grow until we can see a golden apple growing on one of the branches. So all I do here is leave my video here, or leave my controller, sorry. Leave it here and wait for it to grow. Depending on how your power system works, you may need to keep pressing something, or you could just go and muck around for an hour or so. Either way, I just leave this sitting here waiting for the tree to grow, and when you see something like this, you know that the tree is ready, and I'll show you exactly how to know when we approach it a little bit closer. But what we want to do first is pick something up that we can throw, if you haven't already. I find cardboard box is just the easiest. My trusty cardboard box. I did try this bin lid as well. I do appreciate the bin lid as well. But yeah, I found the cardboard box the easiest thing to aim as well. So head over to the tree and I'll show you exactly what we're looking for. You'll see on that branch, it's very, very hard to see there, but I'll go a bit closer. You can see the apple there. It's just one singular apple on the whole tree, and we're just going to throw the box at it. Boom! The apple drops just as the old man finds me. So I'll wait for him to bugger off, and then we'll go pick up the apple. And that's all you need to do is pick up the apple, and that's going to be our biggest achievement, 200 gamer score for picking up that apple. But yeah, that's the time-consuming part, is waiting for that tree to grow. I tried to get the seed planted as soon as possible so we could do a few other things while we were waiting for the tree to grow, but yeah, I still found it quite avoidable in terms of having to wait. All right, as soon as you pick up the apple, that'll be enough to trigger the achievement. There we go. And I literally haven't found any other use for this apple. Post a comment if you know anything else that we can do with the apple, but I suppose none of it's relating to achievements anyway, so there we go. And now it is actually time to move on with the story. We've got a few, I guess they're story-based achievements, I guess you could call them. All right, so picking up the key card. May only be 1 or 2 achievements actually left. But anyway, picking up the key card. I had to wait for the old man. I think he's still right there, is he? I had to wait for him to get out of my way so that I could... How's he coming again? All we need to do now is go down into the basement to move on with things. There he is again. Out he comes. I think he's going to head off down to the right. Alright, stop being a wuss, Aussie. You can go in now. All we need to do is use the key card and head inside the basement, guys. Alright, here we go. Very, very similar to before. We need to head through the washing machine. Now this next bit is very, very hard to explain. Just follow the path that I take, but as we come around one of these corners into a real dark area, there's going to be some sort of monster that if we look at him or go too far, he attacks us and we just have to start again. So I find this locker or whatever it is here, and I stare down at the ground so that the screen is completely black. And now listen, there's one. That is the sound of the monster going past. There's 2, and I'm going to wait for 1 more, and there we go. There it is, and now we should be able to walk past. Now, I can't really show you much better than that in the video because he just grabs us, but if you're playing this part, you'll know exactly what I mean. Rather than actually show you the monster, I'd rather show you how to pass him. and you guys can see him for yourselves. I don't know if monster's really the right word. Now you might recognize this area. We need to go back this way, and this time we can actually just run and double jump over the fence. You might, once again, take a little bit of playing around. Tapping A pushes him away, and there we go. So those are the two skills that we learnt for two of those mini games that we may not have been able to pass that section like that. There may be other ways to pass it, but we might not have been able to do it if we didn't get those two skills. I can't actually remember what happens, because I know you can get up to here without getting those two skills, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, here we are in the final act. Grab the basketball while you can, and then we just need to wait for this room to be destroyed, actually. You'll notice that we are tiny, and there is the old man, and he's going to crush this, or smash this building. Somehow we survive. Come on, old man, do your thing. Alright, we're very, very close now to the end, guys. Okay, once we can move and leave the building, head up these platforms, making sure you're probably going to need your double jump to get up here. Over to here, and what we need to do is push this red button, this one right here. Now it'll turn on a train if you look up. I don't look up just in time, and it crushes that, or crashes into that building, and we need to make our way inside that building. The next step is we need to use this basketball to hit a switch. That switch is just over there. As I get my bearings again, I do believe this switch actually turns on the toaster or something else up there. I can't actually remember what it does, but I do know that we need to turn it on, and it is along with the other switch. So similar to you making the basketball shot earlier, you just got to have a few tries until you hit that switch. You can hit it from the top or the bottom, it still works. Head around this side, and we need to make our way inside that toaster there by jumping onto the torch, onto the radio, and then you just walk up the aerial, and we can make our way inside the toaster. The purpose of going up here on this occasion is to get up to a switch up there that will allow us to get an umbrella. So we're going to double jump into the toaster, and now we want to land onto this bluey green or green platform up here by holding forward, and then we can flick this switch. Now when we flick that switch, that elevator is going to come up. I'll show you in just a second, you'll see it after I flick the switch. And we need to make it our way down here and jump onto it before it gets past us, so that we can go up in here, and like I said, get ourselves up to the access for the umbrellas. Now if you're anything like me, you might miss that several times, and you have to work your way all the way back up. You have to flick the switch again to bring the elevator down, and then flick it again for it to go back up so that you can ride it. Alright, up here we just need to pick up something so that we can smash the window. Either of these items will do. Throw it at the window, jump inside, and we're going to flick another switch. And like I said, as soon as you flick this switch, the floor opens up and we'll start falling with a number of umbrellas. If you're quick enough, I wasn't ready on this particular playthrough, you could actually pick up an umbrella as you're falling and float down. I have done that before. Anyway, grab the umbrella. There's tons of them around. Just grab any umbrella, and we're going to head back to the toaster. I'm going to be making a few trips into the toaster, and then using the umbrella to help us glide around to different scenarios around this area. Alright, so back up the same way. If you are watching and you are finding this helpful and getting all the achievements for the game, please obviously like the channel, subscribe to the channel, post a comment and let me know what your thoughts are. I've got some more achievement guides coming very, very soon. Also consider going over to my Twitch page if you haven't already, and follow me over on Twitch. I did stream this game on Twitch as I was doing, practice runs and things like that, not this particular recording, I wanted to record a proper playthrough for this guide. But a lot of my stuff that I've got on YouTube, I do record over on Twitch as well. So feel free to follow or subscribe to me over on Twitch. Obviously that support would be greatly appreciated as well. Now we need to float into this building. This is where the train car, as you can see there, had crashed inside, and pick up at least 2 candles just in case we lose one or miss one later. You can see here I took 3, but technically you only need 1, but it can't hurt to take 2 or 3 just in case we accidentally throw one away or something like that. Once we're here, we can just drop down. Don't forget to use your umbrella or you might die. To float down here, you can see a firework on the ground underneath the old man, and we're just going to use the candle to light the firework, and it's going to go up and hit the old man, and he's going to have a little bit of a sook. There we go. So that's got him holding his ears. Alright, there's a few steps in order to get him, I guess, what would be the word? Let's just say defeat him at the moment. Alright, so back to the toaster. Now that we've got him there, you do have to do these in this exact order as well, as far as I'm aware. So the firework is the first one, and obviously the other steps that we did before that were what allowed us to get the candles, basically. Alright, so back into the toaster. And this time we're heading for a platform. It's quite a long way away, so you need to know where you're heading and just hold on the direction of this platform in the distance over there. And that's where we're going to use another candle to burn a rope, which then in turn fires off some sort of bow and arrow contraption to hit the old man once again. You can sort of see it coming into focus now. So we're going to burn that rope with the candle once again. This will be the final time we need the candle. I just stand underneath it, it lights the rope. Oops, wasn't long enough. There we go. It fired at him and it's dropped him to one knee. Alright, and now we have yet another step, and so we need to go back to the toaster yet again. Alright, I just skipped ahead getting back to the toaster. You guys don't need to see that again. Alright, back into the toaster, and almost the same direction that we headed last time. You might have seen the balls on the shelf over here. We need to make our way to that shelf. I've accidentally gone up inside the elevator shaft, or whatever you want to call it. Alright, so you get 5, I think it's 5 chances, 5 balls at this. You only need 1 of these balls. I guess they put the other ones there in case you miss. But all you have to do is push one of these balls into the ball machine, which is off the edge of this particular shelf that we're on. So I just grab or walk up to the ball closest to the edge. Yeah, we just got to push it inside that, I guess, bowl sort of area. I've never missed, so don't worry. But I'm sure, I don't know what would happen if you pushed all the balls off somewhere else and you couldn't get anything into this. But there we go, push it inside, and it's going to hit him right in the knee. So now he's dropped down to both knees. Now what we need to do is get inside the building or the house on his back. Once again, back to the toaster. And if you do it right, we can actually float all the way into the toaster from here, so we don't have to climb back up the radio and all of that. Just land inside the toaster from here. And this one is actually quite tricky in order to make it from here all the way across to the building on his back. You have to land on this little tiny platform, that little balcony off to the right. So it may or may not take you a couple of goes. I find it easy if I sort of get above it and then close the umbrella so I fall onto it. You'll see here, I think I do something similar. Alright, there we go. And once we're on there, we just open the door and it ends that part of the game, and we're just one more step away, really, to finishing the game. Once you're in control, you'll just be in this sort of missing poster sort of scenario section. All you do is walk forward, turn to our right, and go through this door here on the left. Here we go. All right. Once you're back in control, you'll have this boy. The checkpoint is as he starts running up the stairs here. Follow him up the stairs and stand in front of him. You're going to do this a few times. We've just got to block. Whenever he sits down like that, part of the building gets destroyed by the giant grumpy man outside. Then the little boy runs off to the next spot, and we've always got to go a different way. So just follow where I go. We're going to stand in front of this window here and wait for him to come from the right over there. We can't follow him because every time we get hit like that, we actually get bigger. And he goes through little areas where we can't fit. As soon as he sits down, stand right in front of him, block him again, and we have grown again. Head back this way, over to this ladder, up the ladder, around to our left. And once again, he's going to come up those stairs. He's going to sit down somewhere here, and we're going to block him yet again. All right, he's going to sit there. So it's all about learning which way to go in order to get there in time to protect him, basically. All right, once you've done that, head over this way. Now we're going to be too big. You may even need to duck certain sections there, but jump across here, turn to our left and go across here and drop down here. And you'll see him coming. So if you're not quick, he will beat you and then he'll get hit and we'll have to start all over again. So we are very, very big now. He's going to run off yet again. And we are going to jump up here again. And now we're going to go up a ramp here. Up we go. And one more time. See the little boy come through the door. Stand right in front of him. And that is it, guys. There's our final achievement. That is actually the end of the game, guys. There's a little scene that'll play out there, and to completely finish and start the credits, you've got to run through that green door at the end there, but nothing I need to show you here, guys. I want to thank you all very, very, very much for watching. I put a lot of work into this one. I hope it helped. If you enjoyed it and it helped you grab achievements, please remember to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, post a comment, consider supporting me over on Patreon so I can make more guides like this. You can join Aussie's Army for just $1. There's a link in the video description. And there's the bell, guys. You know what that means. Class dismissed.